Good afternoon, folkers. Snapzilla Gorilla, aka Snap Turtle, aka Definition, coming at y'all with another short video. First, I want to give a shout out to Brian from High Impact Flicks. He's a true freedom lover. You know what I'm saying? He's very consistent, he's knowledgeable, and he knows his shit. So go check him out on High Impact Vlogs or High Impact Flicks, or both. He has several channels. But yeah, he's a true freedom lover, and he doesn't waver. That's why I appreciate him so much. That's why I rock with him. Very few people out there are as consistent with their love for freedom as he is. And that's what I'm about too. So, just go check him out. You'll know what he's talking about. You know what he's on. And also, he has merchandise. You know what I'm saying? He sells t-shirts and shit. This one is his Escape from California t-shirt. Very clever. I have several of his t-shirts. Very clever. I support people who are about that real shit. You know what I'm saying? And Brian's one of those people. So go check him out. If you are a statist and you go check out his videos, it'll be very difficult for you to stay a statist. You know what I'm saying? For me, I was never a statist. Ever since I got out the Army, I was on some different shit. I got with a group of people that I thought were really freedom lovers, but it turned out they were full of shit. It takes a lot of time, a lot of building of trust, to know who really is about freedom. Some people use their platform for an agenda to do something else, and there's nothing wrong with getting paid for making great videos. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, And a lot of these people on YouTube, they're doing great work. They do a lot of work, a lot of editing, a lot of research. So they deserve some type of backing. If you enjoy their content, go ahead and back them up. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. You get people out there, they'll shit on people for getting paid or being monetized, but nah, I mean, like I said, Brian, I have no problem throwing money in the super chat based on all the work he's done. He does a lot of work, does a lot of research, does a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with him on a couple things, but that's nothing compared to what I do agree with him on, and that's in regards to trying to help build a society that's voluntary, where you're not forced to do something, where you don't have a master or a daddy government or people telling you what to do all the time, or making all these laws to try to trap you into some type of just trap you and make you dance to their tune. No, I'm not with that. Like I said, I've been, if you go back to my Facebook page, I've been on this shit for years. I've been talking this shit for years and years and years to people on Facebook, and I'm talking about before I got on the YouTube platform, before I even started watching YouTube. I've been on this. I've been on top of this false left-right paradigm bullshit that we're living in. I've been on this false voting bullshit. I never voted. You understand what I'm saying? Because I knew it was bullshit. They're forcing us to choose our masters, and they're forcing us to choose which of our masters' laws we're going to follow. So that's the main thing. So, and what I really want to talk about today was homeschooling. Now, being that I am and have always been a freedom lover ever since, like I said, I got out the Army and went through my reverse brainwashing process back in 2005. I've been on this, but I have a 9-year-old. My oldest is 9 years old, and she's been homeschooling her entire life. We decided when she was 2 or 3 years old that we were going to homeschool because we looked at the system. We looked at the system of the schooling in our area. We looked at the system of schooling everywhere, even in private schools, and it's all about indoctrination. It's all about, and for certain demographics, it's all about the school to prison pipeline. It's about brainwashing. It's about it's about sexuality. It's about sexualizing your children. more and more they're sexualizing your children. They're exposing your children to nasty shit. They got some shit in England or the UK about self-touching, and they're teaching self-touching classes. They got teachers on desk, female teachers on desk with their legs open, showing you where to insert a dildo and all kind of shit. And what really clinched it for me was when in LAUSD, where I went to school, which is the district that I live, me and my children and my wife live in, this teacher of 20 years, he had 20 years as a teacher, right? He had tenure, and we found out at a school that I used to go to when I was in when I was in junior high school. This dude got caught with pictures of children laying down on the floor in his classroom in compromising positions. They found out that he was giving the children cookies with his jizz on it and all kind of nasty shit. And he had been doing shit like this for 20 years. Now, it had been brought to the attention of the school district, right? But it had been swept under the rug. But when they got those pictures, and now that we live in a digital age, you can't hide it anymore. So at that point, I was like, okay, that cinches it. My children are not attending these schools. So, I talked about this on. I said I was going to talk about the process of homeschooling your children. Now, I live in California, okay, and ironically, in California, they actually fund homeschooled children. Okay, you have to go through a charter school. So you go through a charter school, you find a charter school, and you enroll your kids in there. And it's as simple as that. And if you don't go that route, you have to go through the state. You gotta let the state know, okay, we're homeschooling. You have to enroll your family, or you enroll your household as a private school. So you're basically telling the state, okay, you're a private school and your child is attending the private school, and it's your home. Your home is the private school. And what you have to do is you have to turn in attendance records. So you have to keep up with attendance records. You have to get them through testing. You have to do all these things to keep the state off your back. Okay, but if you go through the homeschool charter program, right, they'll fund the schooling, right? The charter school will fund your students or your child's schooling. So if they want to go to instrument class, if they want to go to a gymnastics class, boxing, Muay Thai, if they want to do rock climbing classes, that you have all these vendors on the list that come up with these charter schools. So they'll take the funds and they'll shoot it directly to the vendor, and then you just take your kids to these classes. You can get school supplies, you can get laptops, you can get language learning programs, all this other shit. And you set your own curriculum. You don't have to follow that Common Core BS that they got in the school these days. Nah, not my children. No. My children follow the curriculum that my wife put together. Me and my wife. Mostly her. My wife does most of the work. Thankfully, I make enough money for my wife to stay at home and homeschool my children, even though I live in LA. I mean, come on. It's a commitment. It's a commitment. And it's not just as simple as, I'm going to take my kids out of school. So my kids have never went to school, all right? And on top of that, let me tell you another great benefit of homeschooling your children. You do not have to inject your children with these poisons they call vaccinations. That is a major key to homeschooling your children. You do not have to get them vaccinated for now, all right? So, like I said, my children have always been homeschooled. I never had to get my children vaccinated. They never attended class, right? They never attended school. So, but I did research it for other people who wanted to take their children out of school and homeschool them, right? The kids are going to school. There's a lot of sexual shit going on. Blowjob contest. Girls just giving up the draws out of just for when I was in school, junior high school, I had to work hard just to get a kiss from a girl, just to grab a titty, just to grab a boot, just to grab. You wouldn't just be able to say, drop and draw for me, and she'll be like, okay. It didn't matter how well dressed you were, Didn't matter how good looking you were. Didn't matter how athletic you were. Didn't matter. None of that mattered. You had to work. You had to talk on the phone for hours to girls. You had to have game. You had to, you had to play. You had to court females before they gave up the draws back in the day. Like, I'm telling you, man, it was very hard. Very hard. Even though when I lost my virginity, she was older than me, about 2 years older than me. I was 10 years old, and she, kind of hopped on me and did her thing. But other than that, up until I was about age 16, 17 years old, it was, no, you don't just give up the draws like that as a woman. You had to work for it. But anyway, so that, and then the vaccinations, and my children, they attend these classes about 2 or 3 hours at a time, right? And they're around other kids, but it's nothing like sending your children to public school. I mean, you're talking about sending your kids to classes where there are children of like mind, whose parents are of like mind as you, because they're homeschooled as well. It's a whole different dynamic. They make good friends. They're around other children. Your children can socialize if they're homeschooled. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't think that just because your children are homeschooled that, they're going to be feral and, they're going to be antisocial and withdrawn and weird and awkward. Nah, my children are very outgoing. They all have their own personalities, Like my second oldest, she's more shy. She's not as assertive. She's more like my wife. My wife is very, my wife isn't as outgoing and as social as I am, or she wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. I mean, she could, but it would be a totally different thing. But your kids aren't automatically socially awkward because they're homeschooled. No, they are of independent mind. They have more time to have fun. They play more. They're more active. They're happier. They don't get sick. My children, they don't get sick like that. I mean, they don't get sick because they're not vaccinated, number one, and number two, they're not around all these kids who are vaccinated, who are carrying around fucking diseases that they're supposed to be inoculated against. You understand what I'm saying? So that, look, I have many videos. Okay, I have a video on Common Core, okay, and how it ties into teenage suicide increasing, and I have a video. Just go back. I have several presentations that I can show you, okay, that I've done, and I plan on doing more. But look, if your children are already in school and you're considering homeschooling them, don't do it during the middle of a semester. Hell, I wouldn't even do it during the middle of a school year. So what you do is, okay, you let your kid go through the rest of the school year, okay, in public school. Then at the end, you register yourself as a private school to the state, or you find a charter school. And then when the new semester starts up, you don't have to worry about enrolling your kid again, or not the new semester, the new school year starts up. You won't have to worry about enrolling your kids again and going through all this BS. But if you do it in the middle of the semester, it will look funny to the school district, and all these things can be involved that you don't want. So you just wait till the end of the school year and tell them you're not bringing them back. Go through the state, just right now you got to do it. Otherwise, you're going to have the state crawling up your ass, and you want to be smart about obtaining your freedom. You don't want to just be, you don't want to make yourself a target. You want to make yourself as small a target as possible. And look at me, I'm up here making myself a target right now. But the point is, you don't want to bring attention to yourself by pulling your kids out of school during the middle of the school year. No. Wait until the end of the school year and then go ahead and do it. I'd recommend. Now, this is my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is get the hell out of California, escape from California, all right? Then I want to go, I want to live somewhere where I can buy some land, where I can cultivate crops, where I can raise animals, and where my children can be involved in that thing, and that's the life they can live, and they can continue to homeschool, right? but it'll be a lot more free. You know, they'll homeschool and they can go into town and do whatever they want to do. But my ultimate goal is to get with other like-minded people and build our own villages out where we can be self-sustainable. You know, that's the ultimate goal. And right now, what I'm doing with my children with the homeschooling is teaching them that they don't have to be a part of a society that expects things from them that we shouldn't be forced to give. You understand what I'm saying? We shouldn't have to be forced to be put through this indoctrination program known as the school system to be part of society. We should participate in society if we want to. Now, understand that even as free people will choose to congregate and come together and form a nucleus of people, a group of people that of like mind, of like interest. This is because human beings are social people. Being free and not being part of society does not mean that you're just, you know, screw everybody. You know, it doesn't mean that you have to be what they call them, people that are afraid people. I forgot what they call them. They tried to say Trump was one of those when he did the Muslim ban. Fear of others. Whatever that term is. Somebody put in the comment section. Y'all, a xenophobe. Okay. Not wanting to participate in the greater society like the one we live in, the central government society. Not wanting to be a part of that does not mean that you're some type of xenophobe. That just means that you don't want to be part of a system that says, look, do what we say, not as we do. You know, follow my rules, follow my laws, all this bullshit. Give me your guns. You can't have a firearm, all this bullshit. No, man. No. You want to be free. Just because you want to be free doesn't mean that you have to be xenophobe. That just means that you don't need anybody ruling over you. I don't need somebody ruling over me. I'll do whatever the hell I want to do. As long as I don't hurt somebody. As long as I don't leave a victim. As long as I'm not forcing my beliefs on the other people, forcing my system on the other people, forcing my lifestyle on the other people, stealing from people, hurting people, killing people, taking their property, destroying their property. As long as I'm not doing that, leave me the hell alone. Let me do what the hell I want to do. And that includes raising my children the best way I see fit. Homeschooling my children the best way I see fit. As long as they're healthy, as long as they're happy, as long as they're intelligent, as long as they're growing, that's my prerogative. My children are my responsibility, and that's what homeschooling is all about. You're taking responsibility for your own children's lives, your own children's education. It is a commitment. It's not super easy. It takes patience. You know what I'm saying? It takes time, and less time actually, because you're only actually schooling for about 3 or 4 hours a day. You're not doing it for a whole 8 hours. You know, you have a lot more freedom to do what you want to do. You can take your kids to the beach. You can take your kids out on a boat. You can charter a boat and fucking do some marine biology bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all kind of things you can do with your children. When you homeschool, there's a lot of things you can teach them that they're not going to learn at a traditional school. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of being able to homeschool your children. You can do what you want with your children as long as you're not harming them, and you can go on trips. You can go here. You can go there. You don't have to check in with a school. But with the charter schools, you do have to meet once a month with your educational facilitator. But they're very accommodating. They work around your schedule. You know, if you have to postpone, if you have to do this, you have to do that, just let them know. And you give them work samples of the things that your children are doing. And they talk to your children. You know, they talk to your kids. They make sure they're learning. You know, they're asking them questions. And that's the extent of it. But the key is, because I'm going through the homeschooling program with these charter schools, the state is not on my ass. You know, the one thing that did change though, in the beginning, the children were able to test at home, but now they changed it to where you have to actually go to a facility, a state facility, to have your children tested. So you know, that's just one other thing that we have to do to make sure that we can homeschool. And I'm okay with that. You know, as long nothing came of it, you know, she did great on her testing. And yeah, that's it. You know? Anyway. So that's all I got for now in regards to homeschooling. I'll touch more on homeschooling topics and ideas and pointers. And if you guys have any questions about homeschooling, y'all let me know. My wife is going to be starting a channel soon that focuses on her homeschooling the kids. So that's something to look forward to. And I'll let you guys know when that happens. Anyway, hit that like button, share, subscribe. And yeah, much love to you guys. Peace.